Alright, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining me on this journey into sound, as they tended to say a few years back. But yeah, I wanted to do a tutorial on reggae music, and that's because I didn't find anything useful on reggae music using Fruity Loops and making it comprehensive. And so I decided to make a YouTube video on how I make reggae music myself, and hopefully it'll help you acquire a more distinctive sound or anything what you're looking for from this video. Yes, I do have an accent. This is not my first language, so bear with me, please, and let's dive into it right away. I do have the licensed variety of Fruity Loops, Fruit FL Studio or whatever they call it these days, and I do have native instruments, as you can see. Contact. I'm a big fan of Contact, but I won't be using that today. Instead, I'll be using whatever Fruity Loops gives us, plus one extra VST, which I'll show you in a minute. But first, let's get rid of these, because these are terrible. They make no sense at all to a reggae artist. So let's delete all these little feckers. There you go. Goodbye. Won't be needing you. Goodbye, snare. As I said before, I love Contact native instruments, but I won't be using it. Instead, I'm trying to help you set up your own, the easiest way to, get a decent reggae sound. First, we'll be using the FBC. I think I just received a message from someone. Thank you very much. Let's see what we have here. Alright, there's a crash. Yeah, I'll be using it later on, but for now we'll just stick to one pattern of reggae music. Alright, so what we need is the kick drum, of course. We need a side stick, we need an open hi-hat, a pedal hi-hat. No, not really. We need an open hi-hat, that one, and a closed hi-hat. Great. Let's first bring the tempo down to about a 60, 65 if you're feeling jiggy. Great. So that's set. So what instruments do you need? So some people just assume you need a piano in the back, on the backbeat. But if you look at reggae artists, and if you take a close look at what they play on stage with, I've got it right here. Here's Morgan Heritage, great band. Go check them out if you have the opportunity. As you can see, there's of course a singer in the front. We won't be using that one, but there's a drummer. We've just added him. Great work. There's a bass player in the background. Very hard to see. There's a guitarist standing over there, or maybe he's the bass player. I'm not sure. I can't see it from here. There's another guitarist. So there's three people on stringed instruments. There's a percussionist in the background, and there's 1, 2, 3 people on keys, and he even has a double set. I think she plays the piano, he plays organs, and there's some pads in the background, I think. So let's add all of these. Well, let's boil them down to the basics for now. All right, so here goes. Add, of course, we need a bassist. Reggae is bass music. Just the boo bass comes free with Fruity Loops, I think. Let's hear what it sounds like. Yeah. We'll get to that in a minute. Add some keys. All right. Can I get some keys, please? Load it, please. There you are. Great. And As you may have heard by now, I'm not using anything but a laptop with an SSD disk installed, and yeah, that's it basically. So I'll be using my keypad, my keyboard, and that's about it. So let's see what we have. We need a guitar player, so let's add the Slayer. Yeah, I know this one sounds a bit harsh, but we'll get to that. See, yeah, that's too much. So I think we have the basis now. No, there's one thing still lacking, which beginning reggae producers tend to forget, and which is one of the essentials of reggae, and that's the bubble. And the bubble is made by the organ, and it's a Hammond organ. And I know this thing doesn't come with Fruity Loops itself, but I found a very decent VST plugin which is free, and I've only discovered it today. I normally use Contact 5 vintage instruments, which are absolutely fantastic. And if you have some money, spare money, please use this one. Please buy it, and it's fantastic. It's unequaled in whatever you're intending to do with this. So I think the one I just downloaded after selecting a few was Newbie Plus. Yes, that's the one. And this just sounds fantastic. It's a free VST. You can find it. Just download it anywhere. You can hear it. It sounds fantastic already. But now we'll get to the tweaking bit. But let's first lay down some basics, right? Let's first get to the bass. Yeah, sounds alright, but it sounds a bit thin. So what I want is extra bass. Lovely, but still a bit too sharp. Let's cut out all the rest of that. Yes, lovely. That is fantastic. Now, we have some drums here. That's not the drums. Alright, yeah, these are the drums. But first, let's open up the piano roll. I do that by right-clicking the instrument and then clicking piano roll. I'm in the Fruity Loops keys again, which I shouldn't. So let's head over to the FPC piano roll, open it up a little more, and there you have it. That's it. Now, I know I might get some flack for this, but I count reggae with the kick drum with the one drop on the second and the fourth note, on the fourth count. So let's add a kick drum there and there, because this is count 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, we'll have it there. And what you want is to have this thing set to none, because if you don't, it'll I'll show you what it does if I put it on line. If I click here, it'll just slam it to this line right here, which is okay for now, but if you do it with every note, you'll get a very unnatural sound. So let's hear it for this one. Alright, that's alright. I wanted to have a little more oomph, so I'm going to select them both and drag these up here. And I want the side stick to stand out. I'd call it a rim. Yeah, that's lovely. Now, do keep in mind that this is the FPC, the standard issue instruments from Fruity Loops. I'm not too big a fan of these drums. I'm a drummer myself, I must add, but I intended to show you this, what is possible with the things Fruity Loops gives you and what you can find online for free. So let's add in some hi-hats. Let's turn this one off. Hi-hats, scroll the wheel, make it a little lighter there, and you can simply put in these, so you'll get this. Alright, yeah, that's a bit too much. Let's get these down, select that one, put it down a little, and the final one, get this one down, and in the middle, which is going to coincide with your backbeat, is this one, and you want it to be loud. And this one as well. Well, there you have it. They're a bit off. Mess that up. That's better. That's your bases. This is the basis of reggae music. 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Great. So that's your basis for now. Let's stick to that. We're going to fill it in later with some extra hi-hats and all that. But let's first try some bass. Jesus, 11 minutes of talking and no action. Sorry about that, guys, but please bear with me because this is going to be great. That's a bit too deep. Oh yeah, that's going to work for me. We're going for a nice positive vibe. If you dig into reggae music, you'll find they usually don't play more than 2 chords in a song. Sometimes 4, sometimes even 1. If you listen to some Bob Marley tunes, I think Get Up Stand Up is 1 chord the entire song, and it's a great song. So there you have it. I want to end up at the C chord. Yeah, that's great. Let's add a little here. It's a bit too tight. It's a bit too much. Alright, what I do, sometimes when you can't, get to the side handle of the one note, I just drag it up one thing and then put it down again. That's just me. And let's see what this does. I like the feel of that. And we're going to, reserve these 2 counts for the C chord, and a natural thing to do is drop it to the F chord. And this is going to sound great, and you'll get a feel for it once I hit the play button. Here goes. Now that's lovely. Now we get to the Slayer, which does the reggae strum, and it still sounds like this, which is awful. Let's put that to strumming. We don't want power chords, and now it sounds a little better, but not much. Let's bring down the amplification to dry. That's better. Put it on dry. That's too. Alright, yeah, I like it over there. And there's some amplification, and let's hear what this does. That's the wah wah. Ooh, hi there, Bob. Okay. Let's hit the piano player again, or the piano roll, or whatever it's called. Here we go. Now, I happen to play a little guitar as well. There's one right next to me, but I know this by experience. So, what I see most beginners do is they just put everything, you know, that's what I told you before about the line snap. They just put everything on one line, and what you get is that they'll play, that Fruity Loops will play any note simultaneously, and it's going to sound horrible. I'll show you what I mean. We're in the C chord, but I don't know exactly how it's called because I taught myself to play the guitar, but I know it's a C chord and that's it. But we'd play it in the G position. I think that's the right description. So here we go. Oh, that's very low. Sorry about that. That's too low as well. I think I like it over here. So what that chord does, I think we're in the right position here. Alright, so there's 6 strings on a guitar, and you want to use all of them, because that's what a guitarist does, and you want it to sound natural, right? So here we go. Let's hear this out. That sounds awful. Did I tell you? So what we're going to do is we're going to select none over here, and we're going to shorten these. Oh, sorry about that. Shorten all of these. We're going to zoom in by scrolling our mouse wheel, and we're going to delete this one because you want it to be silent, and we're going to drag it only very slightly to the right. And if we're looking at the velocity here, you can see they make a neat pile. And already I think you're about to hear that this will sound a lot better, because if you think about what a guitarist does, he uses his plectrum and he strums the strings one by one. It's very quickly, but it still is one by one. So, and already you can hear a more natural chuck there. We're going to lengthen it a little more. And we might need to do some work on the sound of the guitar, but let's leave it at that for now. So what we're going to do is going to select them all, press Ctrl C and Ctrl V, and Fruity Loops conveniently puts it to the right of it, so we can drag it up to here. Let's see how that goes. Now bear with me here, it still doesn't sound very great or anything. Now we get into the 3 and 4 count, so we're going to add the F chord. This still sounds awful, I know, but we'll get to that. Seems like a lot of work, but it's so rewarding to get it right once you have this. Alright, we're a little early there. Great. Alright. And we want the reggae sound, right? Yes, fantastic. Trust me, this is going to be great. Now I still want to do some work on the sound of the Fruity Loops Slayer, because this is still a bit too hard for my liking. I remember what I forgot. Cut out the low, or ramp up the mid. And we'll fiddle around with volumes later on. For now, let's add in some keys. And as you can see, I'm doing it one by one. And that's dedication, my friends. Yes, I like this one. And again, I know where this is going, so I'll just stop talking for a little while and let you see what I'm doing. Show you what I'm doing. Sorry about my messed up English, guys. Because I know this one's still the same. Okay. Now there's a little magic for you. Let's switch off the Slayer for a while. Still don't like the sound of the Slayer, so I'm going to, fiddle around with the knobs a little more. Now, let's see what this one sounds like. Alright, agreeable. But we want the reggae sound. Alright, let's put it on solo. Ah, yes, this is going to sound great. I noticed that this one's a bit late, so I'm gonna put a little early here. Yes, that's better. Let's drag this one over here. Put this one up, because I know that's what it takes to turn it into an F. Oh, right. To turn it into a minor chord. And again, you can see that this doesn't really, it doesn't line up perfectly, and that's, humans are fallible, and it shows in everything we do. But here's the thing done right. Watch this. And again. And that's our bubble, ladies and gentlemen. Let's hear how it sounds in total. Now, how about that? Still, it sounds a bit tinny and a bit fakey, so I'm going to add a little something there. The boot bass I can do with a little more bass, of course. So we're going to add a parametric EQ. That was stupid. It's on the master track. So, as I said, nobody's perfect. I want the drums on the first track, the bass on the second, pianos on the third, this one on the fourth, and this one on the fifth. Alright, and since we're at it, let's add some parametric EQ. Go to presets, put in a 3-band thing. Still doesn't sound great, but we'll get to that. Let's try this, the Slayer a little more. I also don't like that the keys, they have this, they don't stop when you release the keys. They have this fade out, which I don't like. Let's see. There we go. And this needs a little work because I sense that there's something off here. This one's a little late. Much better. Still not there, but we're getting there. And we want the Slayer to be in a supporting role for the piano. So if we get into the mixer, see what we have here. This one should stick out. You've already seen me tweaking this one, you know, dragging it down. Still it sounds a bit dry, so I'm going to add some delay there. This is way too much, the delay 3. This is way too much. I'll show you right now. So we're going to lower the output. So this is on track 4. We want some delay on track 3. As you can hear, it starts to collide and clip and all that. So I'm going to turn this down, put the output a little lower. And again. Now, in native instruments, I can tweak for hours on end because these these sample packs are fantastic. But here we need a lot of effects to get to a more convincing sound. I think this, let's see, this one's the, that one's the organ. And we want a little reverb on the organ. That's a bit too much. We want it to be a little less wet, to be more in front of the microphone. You get a much fuller sound already, but wait till we do it to the keys. And I promised you I'd put a little more work into the drums. So here we go. I find the drums a bit too dull. So we're going to add a little extra. And we want that typical triplet feel in there, so for the occasion we're going to lower this one as well, and we're going to add a triplet here. We have an open hi-hat here. Let's turn this one up. I think that's it. Jesus. Still sounds a bit thin, but you'll get the idea. Now let's do a little test here, because I find it a bit too thin, but I like the sound of it. Let's drag this one down 1 octave. See how that goes. Yeah, that's too deep. Don't like it. See, it's just a matter of trial and error there, and actually like it better up here. So I like the sound of that, and I'm going to add a little more clarity to this one. Won't be needing this part, so we can just cut it off. Let's see how the skank sounds. Alright, I still don't like the high bits in the Slayer sound, so actually I like this sound. So this is number 4 there. So we're going to add some more parametric EQ, and we want to bank on that high pitched sound there. And as with everything in life, you need to, you don't need to do it in excess. Don't overdo it. Moderation, as they tend to say in Jamaica, moderation. So I like the sound. I still find that there is a little too much of the boo bass there, so I'm going to add on track 2 some parametric EQ. And cut out all the rest. I'm not a fan of these drums, but it's the best I can get for now. Let's see if I can put in some tweaks there. They're still a bit, they're not very tight. Not very tight on the shuffle there. And still, this one doesn't have the right delay. Sorry, I'm a bit all over the place, but once I get into it, I can't stop. I've been working on it for 43 minutes now, and it's really getting somewhere, and we only have one pattern now. Woyo yo, woyo. Ah. It's a bit tame, isn't it? And now it's all a matter of using your ears, right? Because we want this one to stand out. Maybe you could do with a little reverb as well, but not too much. And there's a lovely little preset in there called Drum Room. Let's put it on there. I'm going to fill up this gap right here. There's a gap right here, right? The transition from the C chord into the F. We can just bind them together. It's a neat little trick I learned from the Wailers, just by listening to them. Oh, I love the sound of that. It's not as full as the real thing, but it gets the trick done, you know, gets the job done. So let's hear it from the start. Yes, well, I think that's it for now. I might do a little tweaking in between to see if I can get a dub session going. Don't think too much of it, but you'll get the idea for now. Thank you for watching. It's been a great ride. It's been nearly 50 minutes, and we started it from scratch. I hope you've learned something. If you like it, hit me with a thumbs up. If you didn't like it, best leave it at that, and subscribe, because I do feel like making more of these, and if you're interested, stick around. Here goes. Lively up yourself and don't be no drag. Lively up yourself, for reggae is another bag. Ah! Yes, boy! Me want to see all the people in that place. Get up on your feet. Now we do it. Alright. All the people just a jump and prance. All the people a free get an equal chance. Everybody need to look around. See how Woolters sit up on him throne. And me do the biggest tune in the land. All the man say him a the greatest Rasta man. Oh yes. Oh yes. Ha! Now that was a bit tacky, but I'm going to leave it at that. Thank you very much for watching. If you have questions, do leave them in the comments below. Feel free to send me a message or